Which food ingredient comes neither from plants or animals? Excellent. Salt is a brilliant choice. What is the main source of food mentioned in the document? Smart move. C. Plants and animals is an accurate answer. Find the odd one out with respect to food habit of animal. N. Great thinking. Spider is the right choice. Which of the following food items is derived from animals? Sharp thinking. Ghee is the right choice. Materials required to prepare a food item are called dash. Good job. Your answer ingredients works well here. Bees collect dash from flowers and convert it into honey. You're right. Nectar is the correct answer. We utilize the root, stem, flower, and leaves of a plant. You chose true, and it is correct. Which of the following food is not obtained from animals? Bravo, maize is the answer. Animals who eat both plants and other animals are called. Smart pick. Omnivores is the correct choice. Pumpkin is actually a fruit, which is used as a vegetable. Right again. True is a valid answer. What are not the ingredients of preparing chicken? Curry. Exactly. Pumpkin makes sense and it is right choice. Milk is a rich source of which of the following mineral? Nice selection. Calcium is the correct and valid answer. Scavengers are animals who eat the flesh of dead animals. Strong choice. True is the right answer. Name the mineral which makes our bones and teeth strong. Clear logic. Your choice calcium is sound and 100% true. Nutrients are necessary for the functioning of our body. Perfect. True is the correct choice. From which part of a sugarcane plant is sugar extracted? Well reasoned. Stem is the correct choice. Which plant part is the source of chili used as spices? Correct. Fruit is the right answer. Milk, cream, butter, and ghee all belongs to same group. Well picked. True is the correct answer. Those who feed on flesh or animal products are known as. You got it? Your choice carnivores is right. Which of the following plants store food in their roots? Solid response. Radish is a valid choice. The height of a man is 1.56 m. This height is equal to... Right choice. 1560 m is the best answer. Which of the following is not an ingredient of kheer? Excellent choice. Salt is the right answer. Plants prepare their food during a process called dash. Good thinking. Photosynthesis is the right answer. Ingredients required to prepare a food item are called. Correct response. Ingredients is the most accurate answer. Cows, buffaloes, and goats are all examples of omnivores. Nicely done. False is a solid answer. Dash is an important source of proteins and vitamins. Valid point. Eggs is true. Which one of the following is not an omnivore animal? Nice work. You chose tiger and it is correct. Dash is an organism that only eats plants for energy. On track. Herbivore is the correct answer. The way energy is passed from one organism to another. Great job. Food chain is the accurate answer. The animal which eat both flesh and plants are called. Well done. Omnivores is the right choice. Which of the following food is produced by animals? Lee? Nice selection. Meat is the correct and valid answer. The basic materials required to make food are called. You're right. Ingredients is the correct answer. When lemon vinegar is added to warm milk, it's called. Nice work. You chose curdling of milk, and it is correct. Which one of the following is a transparent material? You got it. Your choice glass is right. What are animals that eat dead plants? Animals called? Clear logic. Your choice scavengers is sound and 100% true. Food eaten at a particular time of the day is called? Correct. Meal is the right answer. The animals which eat only small animals are called. Well picked. Carnivores is the correct answer. Spinach, cauliflower, carrot are all the example of. Solid response. Vegetables is a valid choice. Read each set of terms and identify the odd one out. Exactly. Plants, vegetables, milk makes sense, and it is right choice. The raw materials used to prepare a dish are called. Sharp thinking. Ingredients is the right choice. What ingredients are needed to prepare boiled rice? On track. Rice and water is the correct answer. Which of these eats food digested by other animals? Strong choice. A tapeworm is the right answer. A food chain can end in a carnivore or an omnivore. Right choice. True is the best answer. Our two main sources of food are plants and animals. Great job. True is the accurate answer. Which plant part is used in making vegetable curry? Right again. All of the above is a valid answer. What do you call the materials needed to make food? Smart move. Ingredients is an accurate answer. The materials needed to prepare the food are called. Smart pick. Ingredients is the correct choice. Which part of groundnut and soya bean gives us oil? Great thinking. Seeds and seeds respectively is the right choice. Honeybees collect dash from flowers to make honey. Valid point. Nectar is true. We eat the flowers and fruits of the banana plant. Perfect. True is the correct choice. Which of the following animals does not have teeth? Bravo. Mosquito is the answer. Dr. Verghese Kurian is known as the father of dash. Well done. White revolution is the right choice. Bees collect nectars from which part of the plant? Good job. Your answer flowers works well here. Which of these food sources are not from animals? Correct response. Milk is the most accurate answer. A seed needs dash and a dash shy and a dash to germinate. You chose air, water, suitable temperature. And it is correct. There's some animals which other animals are called. Nicely done. Carnivores is a solid answer. Deer eats only plant products, therefore it is a... Good thinking. Herbivore is the right answer. What is the main source of milk, ghee, and butter? Excellent. Animals is a brilliant choice. Which of the plant have 2 or more edible parts? Excellent choice. Banana is the right answer. What are the ingredients used for making chapati? Well reasoned. Water, atta is the correct choice. Which of the following can be prepared from rice? Solid response. Idly is a valid choice. Sugars are dash. Bravo. Simple carbohydrates is the answer. Do all living beings eat the same kind of food? M. Valid point. False is true. Plants having parallel venation have dash roots. Clear logic. Your choice, fibrous, is sound and 100% true. Plants and animals are our only sources of food. You got it? Your choice, true, is right. Animals which eat meat and other animals called. Sharp thinking. Carnivores is the right choice. Chili is obtained from which part of its plant? Nice selection. Fruit is the correct and valid answer. How much population does not get sufficient food? Good job. Your answer 19.5% works well here. Which of the following is not an animal product? Perfect. Sugar is the correct choice. Food items like milk and eggs are plant products. Nicely done. False is a solid answer. The part of the sugar cane used to make sugar is... Right choice. Stem is the best answer. We feel dash when we have no food for some time. Smart move. Weak is an accurate answer. The ingredients required to prepare pumpkin curry. Exactly. Pumpkin salt, oil, spices make sense, and it is right choice. Deer eats only plant products, and so is called. Well reasoned. Herbivore is the correct choice. Which of these is not an animal source of food? Excellent. Sugar is a brilliant choice. We get cereals from. Excellent choice. Plants is the right answer. Which of the following vegetable root is eaten? Great job. Carrot is the accurate answer. Which of the following plants has edible roots? Right again. Turnip is a valid answer. Which of the following organism is a herbivore? Smart pick. Elephant is the correct choice. Which of the following is an example of pulses? Great thinking. Mung bean is the right choice. Of which plant can we eat more than 2 parts of? Correct response. Banana is the most accurate answer. What do the wheat and paddy fields provide us? Strong choice. Grains is the right answer. Which of the following is a root of the plant? Correct. Carrot is the right answer. The part of a banana plant not used as food is. You chose root, and it is correct. Choose the incorrect pair among the following. Nice work! You chose tiger grass and it is correct. Lions, tigers, and cheetah are examples of dash. Well done. Carnivore is the right choice. Which condition is not needed for germination? You're right. Light is the correct answer. The things which can be eaten by us are called. On track. Edible is the correct answer. Which of the following is included in pulses? Well picked. Gram is the correct answer. Curd, ghee, and milk are obtained from plants. Good thinking. False is the right answer. Which of the following animals are omnivores? Bravo! Human beings and cockroach is the answer. Plants are called producers because they make. Sharp thinking. Food is the right choice. What are the edible parts of a mustard plant? You got it. Your choice seeds and leaves is right. Which parts of mango tree are edible? Great thinking. Fruit is the right choice. What part of a plant is chili classified as? Well picked. Bee fruit is the correct answer. What part of mustard plants is used as food? Correct response. Seeds and leaves is the most accurate answer. Which are the animals that only eat animals? Correct. Carnivorous is the right answer. What is an edible part of the brinjal plant? Good thinking. Fruit is the right answer. Which are the animals which only eat plants? Valid point. Herbivores is true. Which is not an ingredient of chicken curry? Perfect. Milk is the correct choice. From which part of a plant is oil extracted? Solid response. Seed is a valid choice. Name the diet which completely excludes sugar. Smart pick. Paleo diet is the correct choice. Coconut, almonds, peanuts are the example of. Right choice. Seed is the best answer. Potato is obtained from which part of plant? Well done. Stem is the right choice. In cabbage, we eat the flower of the plant. Nice selection. False is the correct and valid answer. Sugar beet is also a sugar-producing plant. Good job. Your answer true works well here. All living organisms eat same kind of food. Smart move. False is an accurate answer. Choose the odd one out from the following. On track. Turnip is the correct answer. Which of the following is a seedless fruit? Oh. You're right. Banana is the correct answer. Beetroot, radish, and turnip are all fruits. Exactly. True makes sense and it is right choice. Which part of banana is not used for eating? Clear logic. Your choice root is sound and 100% true. Which of the following is a root vegetables? Excellent choice. Carrot is the right answer. The sweet juice that is present in flowers. Excellent. Nectar is a brilliant choice. In which category human beings are placed? You chose omnivores, and it is correct. We don't eat leafy vegetables. True, false? Well reasoned. False is the correct choice. How many days can we survive without food? Nice work. You chose 3 weeks, and it is correct. Which of the following is a source of oil? Great job. Mustard is the accurate answer. Kidney beans, grams urad dal, are rich in. Right again. Proteins is a valid answer. Meat of dash is known as chevon or mutton. Strong choice. Goat is the right answer. Name a plant whose root is eaten as food. Nicely done. Sweet potato is a solid answer. Which category does rhinoceros belong to? Right choice. Herbivore is the best answer. Which is healthy food among the following? Nice selection. Sprouted seeds is the correct and valid answer. Human beings eat all plants and animals. Perfect. False is the correct choice. Animals which eat both plant and animals. Correct response. Omnivores is the most accurate answer. Dash have sharp claws and powerful jaws. Correct. Lions is the right answer. We get sugar from the bark of sugarcane. You got it? Your choice false is right. What ingredient is used to make chapati? Excellent choice. Wheat flour and water is the right answer. Which parts of mustard plant are edible? Well done. Seeds and leaves is the right choice. Which of these is obtained from animals? Valid point. Cheese is true. Which of the following stems are edible? You chose ginger, onion, potato, and it is correct. The milk-producing animals are called as. Excellent. Milch animals is a brilliant choice. Which of these animals does have teeth? Nicely done. Snake is a solid answer. Which are the healthiest form of seeds? Good thinking. Sprouted seeds is the right answer. Plants are the only source of our food. Sharp thinking. False is the right choice. Tea and coffee comes in the category of. Smart pick. Beverages is the correct choice. Which one is not a food for a squirrel? Good job. Your answer, small insects, works well here. Vegetables and fruits are provided by. Well reasoned. Plants is the correct choice. What is an example of a sprouted seed? On track. Moong is the correct answer. Ingredients are needed to prepare idli. Great thinking. Rice is the right choice. Which of these animals is a carnivore? Exactly. Lion makes sense and it is right choice. Brinjal is the dash, part of the plant. Great job. Fruit is the accurate answer. Where does honeybees store their honey? Strong choice. Beehive is the right answer. Which of the seeds are used as spices? You're right. Coriander and pepper is the correct answer. Which is the edible part of coriander? Right again. Leaf is a valid answer. We eat the seeds and leaves of spinach. Solid response. False is a valid choice. From where do you obtain sprouted seeds? Bravo! Pulses is the answer. Honey is made from nectar of flowers. Smart move. True is an accurate answer. Edible part in lettuce and spinaches. Nice work. You chose leaves and it is correct. Spinach, cauliflower, cassava roll. Well picked. Vegetables is the correct answer. Which part of plant gives us brinjal? Clear logic. Your choice fruit is sound and 100% true. Which nutrients need less to our body? Correct response. Fats is the most accurate answer. Butter and yogurt are milk products. Great job. True is the accurate answer. Which part of ginger is used as food? Bravo. Stem is the answer. The first link in all food chains is strong choice. Plants is the right answer. What are some examples of carnivores? Correct. Tigers is the right answer. What type of food does a parrot eat? Nice selection. Plant products is the correct and valid answer. Which of these is not a food source? Perfect. Sea rocks is the correct choice. The edible parts of banana plant are. Well done. Fruits, flowers, and stem is the right choice. Which of the following is a parasite? You got it. Your choice tapeworm is right. What is roughage mainly provided by? Sharp thinking. Bee plant-based foods is the right choice. We generally eat dash of many plants. Solid response. Fruits is a valid choice. We eat the dash of a spinach plant. Nicely done. Leaves is a solid answer. Boiled seeds fail to sprout because. Good job. Your answer boiling damages certain enzymes works well here. Which are the main sources of food? Great thinking. Plants and animals is the right choice. The main sources odd food are dash. You chose both 1 and 2, and it is correct. Which part of the potato is edible? Excellent choice. Underground stem is the right answer. The edible part of tomato and chili. Smart move. Fruit is an accurate answer. Who collects nectar to make honey? Well picked. Honeybee is the correct answer. What is an example of a scavenger? Well reasoned. Vulture is the correct choice. Which part of the plant is cabbage? Clear logic. Your choice leaf is sound and 100% true. Carnivores animals have dash teeth. Right again. Sharp is a valid answer. Which group of animal is herbivore? On track. Cow, goat, hen is the correct answer. Which of the following gives eggs? Right choice. Duck is the best answer. What are the two sources for food? You're right. Plant and animal is the correct answer. What food product is made by bees? Valid point. Honey is true. Spinach is which part of a plant? Nice work. You chose leaf and it is correct. Which part of a banana do we eat? Good thinking. All of these is the right answer. Potato is which part of the plant? Excellent. Stem is a brilliant choice. Which mineral is present in milk? Exactly. Calcium makes sense, and it is right choice. Which part of a potato do we eat? Smart pick. Stem is the correct choice. Which one is not function of food? Exactly. Prepare protein makes sense and it is right choice. What is added to milk to set curd? Solid response. Bacteria is a valid choice. Which one is the best for health? Great job. Sprouted seeds is the accurate answer. What is obtained from sugarcane? Perfect. Sugar is the correct choice. Animals do not provide us dash. Well done. Seed is the right choice. Pulses are obtained from plants. Clear logic. Your choice true is sound and 100% true. We prefer to take sprouted moong. Bravo. All of the above is the answer. Germination of seeds is known as. Nice selection. Sprouts is the correct and valid answer. Deposition of fat in body causes. You're right. Obesity is the correct answer. Maida is generally produced from. Nicely done. Wheat is a solid answer. List some examples of carnivore. Right again. Tiger is a valid answer. Mustard leaves are also used as. Well picked. Vegetable is the correct answer. Hens reared for eggs are called. You chose layers, and it is correct. We eat the leaves of this plant. Valid point. Cabbage is true. Honeybees suck this from flower. You got it. Your choice nectar is right. Edible part in spinach plant is. Strong choice. Leaves is the right answer. Who take nectar and from where? On track. None of the above is the correct answer. What part of a chili do we eat? Good thinking. Fruit is the right answer, which is not an animal product. Great thinking. Salt is the right choice. The sources of ingredients are. Smart pick. Both plants and animals is the correct choice. Which part of turnip is edible? Excellent. Root is a brilliant choice. Which is not the milk products? Smart move. Curry is an accurate answer. Which of these is an omnivore? Correct response. Dog is the most accurate answer. Milk-giving animals are called. Well reasoned. Milch animals is the correct choice. What is the SI unit of length? Good job. Your answer meter works well here. Human beings are grouped under. Nice work. You chose omnivores and it is correct. Green plants are also known as. Right choice. Producers is the best answer. Vegetarians eat meat and eggs. Excellent choice. False is the right answer. Germinating seeds are known as. Correct. Sprouts is the right answer. What is used to prepare kheer? Sharp thinking. Milk, rice, sugar is the right choice. What is the cause of beriberi? Smart pick. A. Vitamin B1 deficiency is the correct choice. Honeybees make honey from dash. Right choice. Nectar of flowers is the best answer. Animal do not provide us with. Perfect. Seed is the correct choice. Dash plant gives us medicine. Well done. Tulsi is the right choice. What is used to prepare food? Strong choice. Ingredients is the right answer. Which part of peas do we eat? Valid point. Seed is true. Which is an underground stem? Great thinking. Potato is the right choice. Seeds need dash to germinate. You're right. Water is the correct answer. Give example of edible plant. You chose mustard plant, and it is correct. Is a carrot a root or a stem? Well picked. Root is the correct answer. The ingredients of roti are clear logic. Your choice, both flour and water, is sound and 100% true. Dokla is a famous dish from sharp thinking. Gujarat is the right choice. What do lions primarily eat? Excellent choice. Meat is the right answer. Ginger and turmeric are dash. On track. Underground stem is the correct answer. Why do we need to take food? Correct. All of these is the right answer. We eat the roots of a potato. Good thinking. False is the right answer. American black bear is among. You got it. Your choice, omnivores, is right. Mushrooms are rich source of. Nicely done. Proteins is a solid answer. Which is not a plant product. Well reasoned. Ghee is the correct choice. Bees use flowers to collect. Great job. Nectar is the accurate answer. Where do bees store nectar? Good job. Your answer C. Hives works well here. Sprouted seeds give energy. Nice selection. More than dry seeds is the correct and valid answer. What is the source of salt? Smart move. Ocean is an accurate answer. Find out the plant product. Excellent. Maize is a brilliant choice. Which animals give us milk? Bravo, cows and buffaloes is the answer. Which food is rich in iron? Exactly. Spinach makes sense and it is right choice. Animal products are rich in. Right again. Proteins is a valid answer. Why do we use to make honey? Correct response. Nectar is the most accurate answer. Process of making cheeses. Nice work. You chose curdling and it is correct. What does a carnivore eat? Solid response. B. Only animals is a valid choice. Duck and hen give us eggs. Valid point. True is true. Groundnut and mustard are. You chose seeds, and it is correct. Where do we get food from? Right again. Plants and animals is a valid answer. What is a source of milk? Sharp thinking. Buffaloes is the right choice. Potato is an edible stem. Perfect. True is the correct choice. All birds are herbivores. Correct response. False is the most accurate answer. Where does honeybees live? Well picked. Beehive is the correct answer. The edible part of carrot. Correct. Rue is the right answer. Consumer that eats plants. You're right. Herbivore is the correct answer. We eat the roots of dash. Exactly. Carrot, radish, turnip makes sense, and it is right choice. What does omnivores eat? Smart pick. Both plants and animals is the correct choice. We eat dash of cabbage. Right choice. Leaves is the best answer. Coffee is obtained from. On track. Seeds is the correct answer. Choose the odd one out. Well done. Cabbage is the right choice. Eggs are rich source of. Bravo. Protein is the answer. Honey is dash product. Excellent. An animal is a brilliant choice. All living beings need. Strong choice. Both is the right answer. Sugar is obtained from. Great thinking. Both A and B is the right choice. The source of honey is. Nice work. You chose animal and it is correct. Is a cow a herbivore? You got it. Your choice yes is right. Pick the odd one out. Solid response. Tomato is a valid choice. Food should never be. Excellent choice. Throne is the right answer. Kheer is prepared by. Good job. Your answer milk, rice, sugar works well here. Milk is rich in dash. Clear logic. Your choice calcium is sound and 100% true. Edible part of apple. Nicely done. Fruit is a solid answer. Bees make hives for. Nice selection. Collecting nectar is the correct and valid answer. Cow is an omnivore. Great job. False is the accurate answer. Who is a herbivore? Good thinking. Goat is the right answer. How is cheese made? Well reasoned. By curdling milk is the correct choice. Food is coming from. Smart move. All the above is an accurate answer. Bees store honey in. Excellent. Beehives is a brilliant choice. What is sprouting? Correct. Bee germinating seeds is the right answer. Sugar is made from. You got it. Your choice both and is right. Identify the spice. You chose nut, and it is correct. We get sugar from. On track, sugarcane is the correct answer. We get milk from. Good thinking. All of these is the right answer.
Food is necessary.
Good job. Your answer all of the above works well here. We get eggs from. Sharp thinking. Hen is the right choice. Human beings are. Bravo. Omnivores is the answer. Find the odd one. Right choice. Mustard is the best answer. We get food from. Well picked. Plants and animals is the correct answer. We need food for. Smart pick. All of the above is the correct choice. Bread come from. Strong choice. Grains is the right answer. Humans are dash. Great job. Omnivore is the accurate answer. Cows do not eat. Right again. Meat is a valid answer. Goat is a dash. Correct response. Herbivore is the most accurate answer. Omnivores eat. Solid response. Both plants and animals is a valid choice. Fruits provide. Exactly. All of these make sense, and it is right choice. Honey is what? Nicely done. None of these is a solid answer. We humans are. Clear logic. Your choice omnivores is sound and 100% true. Carrot is? Smart move. Root is an accurate answer. Sunlight has? Perfect. Vitamin D is the correct choice. Buffalo is. Great thinking. Herbivore is the right choice. Bear is in. Valid point. Omnivore is true. Turnip is a. You're right. Root is the correct answer. Humans are. Nice selection. Omnivores is the correct and valid answer. Lion is a. Nice work. You chose carnivore, and it is correct. Rice is a. Well done. Grain is the right choice. Cow is a. Well reasoned. Herbivore is the correct choice. Dog is a. Excellent choice. Omnivore is the right answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Smart move. Contact Narayan Changder on Facebook is an accurate answer.